What's up, YouTube? It's every single guy on YouTube. Whilst I was doing my last video on social media and why it sucks so many eggs, it occurred to me that socialising in real life is equally bad, but for very different reasons. You could probably guess by looking at my intro video the kind of things that I enjoy, and conversely the kind of things that I do not enjoy. As a small aside, please nobody tell the Jim Henson Company that I've used the Farscape theme in the intro. I'd appreciate that greatly. Thanks, you guys. These powerful, haunting opening images should give you a clue about the generic, stereotyped idea of what a night out apparently is. Primarily, a bunch of genetically altered superhumans who are completely flawless in every way, having perfect nights out, everything happens in slow motion. They always get a table or a booth in some perfect nightclub, which is just perfectly lit. Perfect! We all know how this dream world starts, don't we, my pedigree chums? You're just sitting at work on a Wednesday or whatever, just doing your work, trying to get to 5 PM, daydreaming about being in the X-Men, or building a giant wall to keep out immigrants and White Walkers and whatnot. And some cravat-wearing sperm receptacle comes up with the usual boring work chat. I can't wait for Friday, we'll get the beers in, eh? I think every office has that guy. You know, a packet of peanuts has got more self-awareness, but it's work, you're stuck with him. So thanks to Mr. Social Cancer over here, you're stuck on a night out with the rest of the work crew, even though you would happily kill this guy and his entire family and his cat and then eat his cat. Anyway, so Friday comes and you get ready to go out. You know, you're in the shower and you double soap because there's a faint chance that you'll be having sex tonight. Awkward, bumpy, confusing, possibly vomit-inducing sex. But sex is sex. So, you meet up with your ethnically diverse group of culturally and socially mixed work chums and go to the local jazz establishment. After enjoying someone do, a 60-minute drum solo with the rest of the douchebags there, you'll go down to the local rave cave and proceed to cut many a shape on the dance floor before taking that attractive and naive Scandinavian couple that you met back to your plush studio apartment for a night of such debauchery and sexual depravity that it would make a rapist blush. Of course, that life isn't true. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. You're living in total recall, baby. It's not real. Not real. Of course, this is how it actually goes down. What happens in real life is you meet up with the uncouth barbarians you call workmates, a bunch of poorly dressed, uneducated slobs with all the charm and sexual appeal of an anime fan with the measles. You all stumble down to the nearest battle cruiser, which is actually a rundown front for a drug cartel populated entirely by lizard men and freshly animated corpses. You chuck back as many bottles of tepid light brown dolphin piss as you can without having to dip into the emergency money your mum's sewn into your cardigan sleeve. Let's go outside to vomit. Once you and the rest of your chimp squad have done whatever they've needed to do, you'll head out into the blistering rain towards the nearest nightclub. Once there, you'll join a queue and wait there for a good 40 minutes, watching all these sexy, good-looking, rich, wealthy, well-dressed people go straight in. When you finally reach the bouncer, the gigantic tank-shaped being, you'll put your head down and avoid eye contact in case he decides to crush your head like an egg, the way the mountain did to Prince Oberyn, for example. Assuming you make it down the stairs safely, the first thing you'll notice will probably be the god-awful, eardrum-busting music. Shortly thereafter, you'll be hit with the combined smells of sweat, urine, fecal matter, vomit, and failure, utter human failure. You'll be surrounded on all sides by clumpy blobs of barely human flesh and walking STDs, as well as minimum wage bar staff seething with pure hatred for everything you represent. You'll stare longingly at all the young lithe women dancing away, little bellies showing and titties swinging all over the place, whilst you and the rest of your sexually deficient squad of absolute goblins will stand at the edge of the bar, take turns ordering shots, staring at any women that walk within 15 feet of the tiny little table section that you're awkwardly having to share with another bunch of equally unlikable douche nozzles. The most productive thing you'll do during this period will be pretending to text people on your phone. But we all know you ain't got no friends, baby. Eventually what's going to happen is the drink is going to overcome someone in your group. Possibly the guy with the biggest forehead. So he decides to try it for the UFC by attacking one of the guys in the other group that's nearby, not realising the guy he's challenged is like half ninja, half Decepticon, so he gets his ass beat. Obviously, you all get chucked out, so you decide to waddle to the nearest chip shop, making a big show of how cool you are, shouting about, "That redhead's arse, man, it was pure amazing, man!" before eating your double sausage and obviously reheated chips. You end your night with a furious and mildly upsetting masturbation session before promptly sticking your head in its natural home. There was two major events, well, I say major like I'm some big deal. There was two events that happened that made me really want to do this video. The first one was, I had a sort of group dinner. This dinner largely involved people who do not play video games at all, which instantly makes me loathe every single person there. But particularly there was these two older gentlemen, the kind of guys who like to get the waitress to bring over a bottle of wine so they can inspect the label to find out if it was a good year, and then they do that pretentious thing where they pour it in the cup and they sniff it and they spin it around the glass as if they're Niles fucking Crane or some shit. Hilariously though, the forces of chaos struck for good this time, because one of the douchebags was waffling onto the waitress about some stupid golf thing, and then as he was spinning it, he pulled it over his stupid khaki shorts, the stupid face. Another thing that bothered me was everybody was sitting really close to each other, so my elbows kept hitting this other guy's elbows, and I'm like, why are you touching my elbows?
Come on, dog, you hit my elbows. Stop. Son, stop.
The other thing that happened was we went to Magaluf, me and my chums, on a stag do, or a bachelor party, if you use that phrase. Everybody was super hyped, they're going to get mega drunk and have a great time and have so much sex, or testicles are going to look like ball bearings when we come back. Of course, being perpetual bronze medalists in the game of life, the actual experience was going to the most British pub ever. Despite being in the middle of ass soup, there were so many women. I saw about 15 cocks for some reason. And of course I ended up throwing up so much that my face resembled a bag of raspberries. To be fair, they do have those wonderful toilet attendants over there in Magaluf. It's not like the people in Britain, the guys who use it as a paid sleeping time, where they just sit in the toilet and do nothing. These guys are really into the job, man. They're like, "Hey my man, my friend, my main man. You out to get the big pussy tonight, yes?" I don't know so much about large vaginas, friend, but I appreciate the positivity. And also these really cool pictures they put on the mirrors. So, in conclusion, don't date robots! The perfect solution, of course, would be to have a place where you could just have sex with people without having to know them beforehand. You know, like an agreed business deal between consenting adults of some sort. If only, am I right?